Right, let's get to the transfers then. Arsenal's main target for this window, Riccardo Calafiori, is on his way to London as his move edges closer, as you can see. James Savundra's with us. James, good to see you. How long do Arsenal fans have to wait before this all gets confirmed?
We're getting closer and closer now. Riccardo Calafiori is having a medical in London today. We brought you the pictures earlier on this morning of him arriving at the airport in Rome ahead of his departure for London for that medical. And all being well, he'll then fly out to join his new teammates in the USA, currently on their pre-season tour there at the moment. And a reminder about the deal, it's a significant deal this for Arsenal, worth up to €50 million. And this was agreed with Bologna earlier this week. And this is a really significant fee. But the reason why it is so sizable is because Bologna only signed Calafiori from Basel last summer for around €4 million. But they inserted a clause in that contract whereby they stand to make 50% of what Bologna make in terms of profit on this deal. So that's why Bologna pushed for as high a fee as possible. They feel like they've got a decent deal in the end. Yes, Arsenal paying a huge amount for a player who was only bought for around €4 million last summer, but they feel like he's the right man to help strengthen what is already a formidable defence.
Yeah, OK, let's talk about that defence then, because just wondering where he'll fit into it. He's obviously very adaptable, but someone will have to be dropped to include him, or does he just become part of a very decent defensive unit and squad?
Well, his career journey is really interesting. He started his career as a left-back, but excelled last season as a central defender. Just one season in Serie A with Bologna, but playing in central defence there for them. They achieved Champions League qualification for the first time in their history. So we can see there 29 starts at centre-back, 6 at left-back. So they tried to use him more centrally. And also a starter for Italy during the Euro 2024 campaign. Really excelled there, played in a back three, picked up 2 bookings, so was suspended for their last 16 tie against Switzerland where they went out. So we know he's left-sided, can play as centre-back in a back three or a back four or at left-back. Now, Arsenal tend to play exclusively with a back four under Mikel Arteta. So it'd seem, you'd think, left-back would be the area if he's looking to get into this Arsenal first team immediately. That's where he could potentially rival the likes of Jakub Kiwior, Alexander Zinchenko, Takahiro Tomiyasu as well. That was the one area last season of change in that back four. Ben White very settled now as the right back, the central pairing. It's tough to get into there and break through that. But you think Kiwior, strong defensively, more of a centre-back, quite limited on the ball. Zinchenko has been used as more of an inverted fullback. There's still some questions about him defensively. So that, I think, would seem more likely. Alternatively, is whether or not Mikel Arteta wants to disrupt that centre-back pairing of William Saliba and Gabriel. That would seem a stretch because, let's bear in mind, Arsenal had the best defence in the Premier League last season by some distance, more clean sheets than anybody else, less goals conceded than anybody else. And so that is why some people may question Arsenal buying a central defender who can play left-back in this window, because they maybe think other areas in the pitch, maybe striker is what fans want more than anything. But Arsenal don't want to stand still. They want to strengthen whilst they're strong, and this is a sign of them trying to really increase competition for places. But you do worry about the future if you're Jakub Kiwior or Alexander Zinchenko, because I think this guy's going to come in. I think he's going to make a real impact based on what we've seen from him in the last 12 months.
Yeah, well, and I guess this is the nature. If you want to win the Premier League and take on the likes of Manchester City, then you're going to have a strong squad. There's no guarantee that these players are going to stay fit. The centre-back pairing that you mentioned were kind of ever-present, weren't they? They get injured, and you've got someone that can come in and do that job. So it's a sign of intent from Arsenal.
Absolutely. And last summer, there were the same question marks when Arsenal looked to replace Aaron Ramsdale and increase the competition for places, which many felt they didn't require. You don't want to have 2 number ones fighting the same jersey, but improving the squad, making the squad strong whilst they're strong is what Edu and Mikel Arteta wanted to do with this Arsenal squad. They want to make sure that nobody's standing still. Yeah. And the competition for places is there. So Arsenal really do feel like they've got a formidable defence. They want to make that even better. So it's interesting to see where he fits in. I think when you think about what he's been able to do in terms of his ability on the ball as well, I think he'll offer something in that left-back area as well as being defensively sound. And, of course, Arsenal in the Champions League, maybe this will be a season where Mikel Arteta looks to rotate a little bit more with his defensive lineup. But you argue they've got the best defence in the Premier League, and it's only going to get better now.
Yeah, good point about the Champions League as well. Thank you, James.